the most unprofessional political podcast on the fucking internet, Project VOPod, and today we're going to be talking about the Twitter files. Now, before we go straight into that, I wanted to remind everybody of Twitter first censoring the first big story. This happened back on October 14th of 2020. And I'm sure you guys remember this. The New York Post ran a story where Hunter Biden forgot his laptop at a pawn shop. Later, the FBI would recover it, of course, and it revealed through emails that Hunter Biden was using the position of his father as vice president at the time to make deals with the Ukraine, in which he was making $50K a month. Now, to put that into perspective, $50K a month is $600K a year. That's more than the president's salary.
Yeah, and also then in his laptop, he had explicit content in there. He's having, videos of him having sex with all these different prostitutes that he had, doing drugs, and partying up, all this crazy stuff. And then he has, the small wee pictures in there somehow.
Again, I've never seen it. I don't know.
You told me about this.
I didn't tell you that.
You told me.
You said small. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, so yeah, to go with it, Twitter ended up censoring that article right away, man, right away. And of course, the media just called it Russia propaganda, of course. And so even more so, Facebook, with the help of the FBI, of course, had a heads up on that, and Facebook ended up censoring the story as well, which later Mark Zuckerberg would admit in an interview months later after the election, of course, with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and what just led to Joe Biden winning the president. Coming into former CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, that he openly admitted that, hey, they made a mistake by censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story. Yeah. So check this out.
Yeah.
We made a total mistake with New York Post. We corrected that within 24 hours. It was not to do with the content. It was to do with a hacked materials policy. We had an incorrect interpretation. We don't write policy according to any particular political leaning. If we find any of it, we route it out.
So there you have it. Jack Dorsey admitted that Twitter censored the New York Post article. So that's going to lead us to our next subject, the Twitter files. You got me, OJ? Right here. There you go. Yeah.
Well, there's conspiracy here.
Yeah.
So for years, Twitter has been pressured from inside of the company, outside of the companies, such as Hollywood, the mainstream media, your politicians like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, openly admitting that they want Donald Trump banned, and they're demanding it.
Yeah, for sure. So the aftermath of January 6th, a lot of the pressure came in from within the company. The Twitter employees basically organized to have themselves a cabal to demand the censoring of Donald Trump. So I want to read you a couple of this. This came from the Twitter files, and these are private conversations amongst the employees. So like I was saying before, they're collaborating together. Here's one employee saying, there is a lot of employee advocacy happening both here and in. Here's another one for you.
So check this out here. So he clearly attempts to overthrow our democracy system of government and shows no sign of remorse. If this is not clear reason to suspend him, I'm not sure what would be.
Yeah, exactly. So they're colliding with each other. Here's another one for you guys so you can get it point across. I understand he was our president, and that may have been the reason why we were hesitant to do it. But I think come January 20th, there is absolutely no excuse why his account shouldn't be suspended for good. So not only that, January 8th. So on January 8th, the Washington Post published an open letter with over 300 Twitter employee signatures, all banding together to get rid of Donald Trump.
Man, I guess there wasn't enough safe space in the Twitter building, huh?
Yeah, no. Now that Elon Musk is there, there's not going to be any.
That's fucking good.
Yeah. So the Washington Post open letter that had signatures from Twitter employees led to Anika Navaroli, who she's the head of staff members that oversee the tweets that may or may not violate Twitter's guideline rules. So they went after a tweet from Donald Trump, which was one of his last tweets, January 8th. And this was the tweet in question right here.
The 75 million great American patriot who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, guys. So that's the tweet in question. And just to give you an idea of who this person is, who's overseeing these tweets to try to get people banned, her name, like I said, Anika. We found her website, and this is what she's about. So as you could see, Anika went to the indoctrination camp of Stanford University, and she majored in critical race theory and digital studies. So as you could see, very clear ideology, and she is the head of overseeing tweets, including the Donald Trump one. So the thing is, you might think, okay, what does she have to say about it? What does she look on? So this is what she had to say about the situation. So she said this: I am not seeing clear or coded incitement in the Donald Trump tweet.
Another thing that she responded here: I will respond in the election channel that our team has assessed and found no violation for the Donald Trump tweet.
Yeah, so there you have it. So this woman went through the assessments and found no violations at all.
And fun fact about this girl is that she later testified against Donald Trump in the January 6th Kangaroo Committee, quote, if we made no intervention, people were going to die.
Yeah, so obviously very over-exaggerated, but funny thing here, okay, so Twitter banning Trump for the incitement of violence while simultaneously allowing leaders, foreign leaders, that have clear violation of inciting violence, and they're still on the platform today, guys. So in June of 2018, Iran's leader tweeted this out.
Our stance against Israel is the same stance we have always taken. Israel is a malignant, cancerous tumor in the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It is possible and it will happen.
And Twitter didn't delete the tweet, nor was he banned at all. Next example.
October of 2020, former Malaysian Prime Minister said that it was a right for Muslims to kill millions of Frenchmen.
To Twitter's credit, they did delete the tweet, but he still remains on the platform. Last example right here. In February of 2021, India's prime minister threatened to incarcerate Twitter employees that worked in India after they restored hundreds of accounts that were criticizing the leader's leadership. And did Twitter ban?
Of course not.
He still remains on the platform today. So Twitter didn't ban any of these men, even though they had clear examples of inciting violence. But they did find the need to ban Donald Trump based off of the tweet that we showed you earlier, even though key members of staff, just like we showed you earlier, Anika, did not find any violation at all of inciting violence or breaking any of Twitter's guidelines. Kind of fishy.
So you guys might be wondering, under what accusation did they have in order to get Donald Trump banned?
Yeah, and her name is Vijaya Gadde.
Did you say vagina, Gadde?
Come again?
A lot of vagina.
I'm sorry, I'm just not getting it. It sounded like you said your name was a lot of, Never mind.
A lot of Vijaya Gadde, okay? So anyways, she's Twitter head of legal policy and trust. And so she had to say about it is this.
The biggest question is rather the tweet like the one this morning from Trump, which isn't a rule of violation on its face, is being used as a quoted incitement to further violence.
And the term that she's talking about here is American patriots, and they will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. She goes on to say, if you have any context or insight we should consider, I'm all ears. So as you see there, Gadde is basically saying that that Donald Trump speaking in a covert type of way when she uses the term, is this a code of incitement to further violence?
It's kind of like women, you know, they expect men to know what they want to eat or how they feel for the day.
Yeah, like they're mind readers, right?
Yeah, they're mind readers.
So this is exactly how she believes.
Reading between the lines.
Yeah, so this is exactly how she believes Donald Trump is treating or talking to his audience in general. So anyways, let's move on here. So only a few minutes later, the scaled enforcement team suggested that Trump's tweets may have violated the glorification of violence policy if you interpretate the phrase American patriots to rioters. So the one in question here is going to be this tweet right here. This is what they're talking about. The 75 million great rioters who voted for me, America First, make rioting great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. All right? Long. Very long. They tell me that. It's very long. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. So again, they're saying this: American patriots to rioters. They also go on to say in these conversations right here, he is the leader of a terrorist group, right? Comparable to the Christchurch shooter or even Hitler, guys. And on that basis and the totality of his tweets, he should be deplatformed. So this is what they had to say about that.
So again, other leaders can clearly incite violence and call for incarceration of their own people. But yet the head of Twitter, like Anika, Vijaya, and Jack Dorsey, won't even bat an eye to these foreign leaders. But yet they'll do these mental gymnastic ways to change the definition of American patriots to rioters in order to justify the permanent ban of Donald Trump.
Yes, sir. And on January 8th, they did just that, permanently ban Donald Trump from the platform. As you guys know right now, Elon Musk, of course, has reinstated the account, but Donald Trump remains silent on there and chooses to use his platform instead to tweet about things or truth about things, whatever you want to do it. Anyways, we're gonna take this episode to a close, guys. We are Project VO Pod. He's OJ. I'm Jake. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts. All right, peace.